Have you ever looked back at someone you thought you were in love with and wondered what you were actually thinking? Maybe at the time they seemed perfect. You couldn't stop thinking about them. Every text message made your day. Every conversation felt important. You found yourself imagining a future before you had even gotten to know them properly. Then months later, or maybe even years later, you looked back and realized something surprising. You weren't really in love. You were attracted. And there is a huge difference between the two. The truth is, attraction can be incredibly convincing. It can make a person seem more compatible than they actually are. It can make you overlook warning signs. It can make you believe you've found the one when you've only seen a small part of who they really are. That's why so many people end up heartbroken. Not because their feelings weren't real, but because they confused attraction with love. Today we're talking about 5 signs that what you're feeling may be attraction rather than genuine love. And if you're honest with yourself, one of these signs might completely change the way you look at a relationship in your own life. The first sign is that you're fascinated by who you think they are rather than who they actually are. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to fill in the blanks when you really like someone? You meet them. You learn a few things about them. You see some qualities you admire. And suddenly your mind starts creating the rest of the story. You assume they're kinder than they may actually be. You assume they're more mature than they may actually be. You assume they share your values. You assume they would make a great partner. But here's the problem. Assumptions are not reality. Attraction often falls in love with a picture. Love falls in love with a person. A picture only shows what you want to see. A person has strengths, flaws, habits, fears, weaknesses, and imperfections. Real love grows when you know someone more deeply. Attraction often grows when you know very little and imagine the rest. That's why some people lose interest the moment they truly get to know someone. The fantasy disappears, and reality takes its place. The second sign is that your emotions change based on how much attention you're receiving. This one is important. Think about how you feel when they text you. You feel excited. You feel happy. You feel noticed. Now think about how you feel when they don't text you. You feel anxious. You feel frustrated. You feel disappointed. Your entire emotional state starts rising and falling based on what they're doing. Attraction often feeds on attention. Love is more stable. When attraction is leading the relationship, people become addicted to the emotional highs. They constantly need reassurance. They constantly need contact. They constantly need confirmation that the other person is interested. That's exhausting. A healthy connection should bring peace, not constant emotional chaos. Philippians 4:7 talks about the peace of God guarding our hearts and minds. While no relationship is perfect, healthy love usually creates a sense of security rather than endless uncertainty. The third sign is that you're more excited about the idea of a relationship than the reality of one. This happens all the time. Someone wants companionship. Someone wants romance. Someone wants a relationship. Then they meet a person who seems to fit the picture they've been imagining. The problem is that they become attached to the idea before they truly evaluate the person. They fall in love with the possibility. They fall in love with the dream. They fall in love with what the relationship could become. But love isn't built on possibilities alone. Love exists in reality. It exists in everyday conversations. It exists in honesty. It exists in patience. It exists in sacrifice. Anyone can enjoy imagining a future. Real love requires learning how to build one. And those are two very different things. The fourth sign is that you ignore things that would normally bother you. Let's be honest. When attraction is strong, people become excellent excuse makers. They explain away inconsistency. They explain away disrespect. They explain away poor communication. They explain away behavior they would never tolerate from someone else. Why? Because attraction has a way of blinding us. We become so focused on what we like that we stop paying attention to what we should be noticing. Proverbs 27:12 says that the wise see danger and take refuge. Wisdom requires seeing situations clearly, not through fantasy, not through wishful thinking. Clearly. Love doesn't require you to pretend problems don't exist. In fact, healthy love acknowledges reality and works through it honestly. The fifth sign is that you know very little about their character. Character is what someone does when nobody is watching. Character is how they handle disappointment. Character is how they treat people who cannot offer them anything in return. Character is how they respond when things don't go their way. But attraction rarely focuses on character at first. It focuses on chemistry. It focuses on appearance. It focuses on excitement. It focuses on how someone makes you feel. And while those things matter, they don't tell the whole story. A person can be attractive and unreliable. A person can be charming and dishonest. A person can be exciting and emotionally unavailable. That's why character matters so much. 1 Corinthians 13 gives us one of the clearest descriptions of love in Scripture. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not self-seeking. Love perseveres. Notice that none of those qualities are based on appearance. None of them are based on chemistry. None of them are based on butterflies. They're based on character. And that's what makes them lasting. Now let's be clear. Attraction isn't bad. God created attraction. Attraction often opens the door to a relationship. The problem comes when attraction becomes the entire foundation, because attraction alone cannot carry a relationship through disagreements. Attraction alone cannot create trust. Attraction alone cannot build commitment. Attraction alone cannot sustain a future together. At some point, every healthy relationship has to move beyond feelings and develop something deeper. That's where love begins. Love chooses honesty when it's easier to hide. Love chooses patience when it's easier to walk away. Love chooses commitment when excitement isn't enough. Love continues growing after the butterflies settle down. So if you're trying to figure out whether you're experiencing attraction or genuine love, ask yourself a few questions. Do I truly know this person's character? Am I seeing them clearly or imagining who I want them to be? Do I value who they are or just how they make me feel? Am I attracted to the reality of this person or the idea of them? Those questions can reveal a lot. Because attraction says, I like what I see. Love says, I know who you are, and I still choose you. And that's a difference worth understanding. The more clearly you understand it, the better decisions you'll make, the healthier your relationships will become, and the less likely you'll be to mistake temporary excitement for something that was meant to last forever.